how's it going? We are at the Southern Retreat RV Park in Brunswick, Georgia. And we're gonna walk you through the park to let you know what we thought of it right now. The first thing about Brunswick is, and I didn't realize this, it is a shrimping town. So basically everywhere you go, you can get like shrimp of some sort. Fried shrimp, boiled shrimp, cocktail shrimp, I don't know, all the shrimps. And here at Southern Retreat, there is actually a restaurant here on site. It's called Fishtails, I think. What's interesting about Fishtails is it's like chicken and steak with shrimp as like a side. I have not had it yet, but Emily and I are going tonight to celebrate our anniversary. We're gonna head over there. It does look like a nice meal, and it is a high-rated, very popular restaurant. So we're gonna do that. For the bulk of this video, I wanna talk through the RV park itself and what we thought of it. So we only got 3 nights here. When I talked about Johnston Springs, we had nearly 5 weeks there by the time I actually filmed that video. So 3 nights here versus 5 weeks, it's different, right? It hits a little bit different. So number one, ease of access. This is very close to the interstate. So we came off of I-95. It's like a left turn and a right turn, and you're here. Maybe 2 miles off the interstate. Very clearly marked, very easy to get into. First impression was they have like this path to come into the RV park, and then they tell you where to stop, and it looks like someone's gonna come out to kind of check you in, but nobody does, so you have to get out of the truck and walk around. Not a big deal. We get out of the truck at every RV park. It was just the way that this one was set up where you had to, where it felt like they were gonna come kind of greet you and tell you what to do, and they didn't. Not a big deal. Number two, our site literally is like inches from that check-in spot. We're in site number 5. We literally pulled straight across and into our site. It's a pull-through. You can probably see maybe a little bit of my truck over here. The sites are small, not tiny, but small. So the truck kind of barely fits in front of the Airstream. There's a couple feet behind the Airstream, but you can see the awnings out. And we like to have the awnings out, so we had to pull a little bit forward to clear the tree that's behind me. But it's a nice site. It's relatively level. We basically had to do no left, right, or driver passenger leveling. We just had to level up and down in the front. Let's talk about power for a minute. So if you've watched our Johnston Springs review, you know that we were having pretty significant power issues. We've been here for 2 nights. The first night we had no issues. We got here at like 11 a.m. on the first day. So we had no issues with power that first day. Last night, yesterday afternoon, that time frame, we had a couple of drops. So we have the Prestige EMS. And so if you're familiar with those EMS systems, they kind of go through a cycle of checking everything. So we lost the power for maybe a fraction of a second, but basically immediately after that, you have to wait that full minute, 2 minutes for the EMS to go through all of its checking before all your power comes back on. Less of an issue here because while it is hot, it's not that beating down hot that we had in Florida. We have 50 amp service at our site. The next couple of sites only have 30 amp, so I don't know what the I guess ratio of 50 amp to 30 amp service is, but clearly some of their sites only have 30 amp. They're also putting in probably a new 150, 160 spots just to the side of us here, which I'll show you in the aerial. It looks like it's gonna be very nice, but still looks like they're gonna kind of crowd in the spots pretty close. What it looks like they're doing over there is everything looks like it's gonna have 50 amp and 30 amp service at the sites. So this one probably built up and they went back and forth and didn't put 50 amp everywhere. The new place looks like they're putting a 50 amp pedestal on every site. All right, sticking with the site itself, I am sitting at our picnic table. It's not the nicest picnic table in the world, but it is a picnic table. We did not have that at Johnston Springs. Probably, I would say we're probably like 30% of the sites we've stayed at don't have picnic tables. So it is nice when they have one, whether it's great or not. Sticking with the site itself, we have a pretty decent water pressure. We've been so used to bad water pressure for 5 weeks that it's been nice to see really decent water pressure here. We had read a few places in reviews that they didn't have great water pressure and that there was like a sulfur smell in the water. I have not found that at all. So the sites are just kind of grass area. It's not like a concrete or anything site. It's just a grass site. But I do have water, electric, sewer, everything right here. And clearly it's big enough to have my awning out and kind of sit out here. We had a good view of the northern sky, so we were able to get the Starlink out for internet while we were here. I would say you have a better than bad shot, a better than good shot at every site here to have northern view. So if Starlink is your main source of internet, like it is for us, then you've got a really good chance of having service here. Just one last thing on the sites and what we've noticed over the last couple days. There do seem to be a large number of either seasonal residents or full-time residents here. The sites that are up front here, which is, I don't know, 15 or 20, are cycling a little bit more frequently. And a lot of people are just kind of looking like they're using it for an overnight stop. We're only here in Georgia for these 3 nights. We're leaving here and heading up to South Carolina and then North Carolina. I think for a stop-off point, it's really good. I think a couple of nights, probably okay. But generally, it's kind of a confined location. So a lot of times when we're at like state parks or shoot, even the KOA in North Dakota a couple years ago, you can walk away from the park and do laps and get some mileage in and do some walking. This is right on a highway and there's nowhere to go. So you're kind of stuck in the park, which is hard for us. We have the dogs. But while we're on the topic of dogs, they do have 2 dog parks. So one, 10 spots away from us, it's small, probably 50 foot by 20 foot or 50 foot by 30 foot. It's good because it's close by. We can walk them over there, walk the dogs over there, get them in there, get them to run around a little bit, use the bathroom, all that. It's been a while since they've cut the grass there, so it can be a little bit of a challenge. And then there's a second dog park about 10 rows in front of us that is really nice. It's large, there's a picnic table there. There's like a little house there, which I'll show you in the video, but in that little kind of house thing, they have a dog wash. We are not gonna use it. We actually had talked about using it, but we're not going to because the cost seems a little excessive. It's $10 for 12 minutes on the machine, and that just seemed a little bit high for what we wanted to do. So we'll find something in one of the cities we're in, or we'll just wash them using the hose. But yeah, it's a nice dog park. It's spacious, it's pretty clean. As with basically every dog park everywhere, there's a crapshoot about whether people are going to pick up their dog's crap. So apparently I made a pun up front and now I'm solidifying it. Whatever. It's every dog park, everywhere you go. You don't know who's doing it, whatever. So that brings me to the bathhouse. So the men's restroom is 3 toilets and 3 showers. It is a decent size. I would say the showers are a little bit small, but not terrible. They're larger than the one in my RV, so it gives you a little bit of additional space. I will say that it's not the cleanest RV park bathroom I've been in. So it's fine, it works, it's not my favorite. Outside of that, I think what there is to know about this park is it's densely populated, it is well kept, there's nothing terrible about it. They're actually I don't want to say paving, but they're redoing the sites just to the side of us, and I'll get you some video of that. But they're clearly keeping up with the park. It's a nice place. It's a good place to be, and for a couple of nights stopover for us, it really worked out well. We got to meet our neighbors just to the side of us here. They're from Utah. Well, she is from Utah. Her sister is from Iowa, and got to chatting for a little bit last night. They're in a little GeoPro, probably 16 foot. It's a neat little trailer. Makes me miss the base camp a little bit. Although I don't know that we could have done this with the base camp. We've been on the road for 8 or 9 weeks now, and with the base camp, I think I would have been claustrophobic. I think that's everything about the site, or about the RV park and our site. We did make it out to Jekyll Island, which we're gonna have a video up on shortly after this. We also made it out to St. Simon Island and visited Fort Frederica, which was really cool. We'll have a video on that as well. We're trying to kind of keep these separate, where you can kind of, if someone is looking for an RV park review somewhere near Brunswick, Georgia, they can look this up and just really watch the review, and then some of the sites and stuff in other videos. We did make it into Brunswick. We had a good lunch there at a place called This. I had a chicken po' boy. Emily had kind of a roast beef melt. Both were very good. The highlight of, I think, everything was the onion rings, the hand-cut onion rings that Emily got. And yeah, it's been a nice couple of days here. Tomorrow morning we are heading out. We're heading to South Carolina near Spartanburg, where we will be using Harvest Host for the first time. If this is seen before that, wish us luck. I'm hopeful that Harvest Host will be a good addition to our kind of arsenal of places to stay. With that, I will say goodbye, and thank you for watching.